try to do this logically because I feel like empathy is not people's strong suit when it comes to the situation. Which again leads us back into the manosphere and why we're trying to destabilize people like Andrew Tate, like Steven Crowder. We're trying to get rid of this whole Kevin Samuels influence. Like, there's just a point that we got to make here. It's like y'all seem to understand the true problem in order to seem smart. It's about how we were so caught in COVID, we're ignoring the side effects of something billions of people took. Billions of people weren't affected by COVID. Do math, dog. Because Kyla Lacey, a very good person on Twitter, also a poet. So let me get this straight. Actual COVID deaths weren't real, but someone passing out or dying suddenly is definitely the COVID vaccine. Before I get into disproving this with like actual data, because I'm going to just literally show it to you on the screen. If billions of people, which it did happen, billions of people took it, why can you only give me 40 examples? Wouldn't like millions of people be dropping at this point? Like, you will say, like, wait, you just heard somebody who was here on this stream say that exact thing. You don't know what they're putting in it. It's all about control. It's all about this. It's all about that. So a real world person is agreeing with this clear loser. Bless you. And somehow we don't see that there's a problem with information in today's age, especially misinformation. Whose we were so caught in COVID? It's still not over. We're ignoring the side effects of something billions of people took. Billions of people take aspirin. Billions of people take birth control, and there are side effects that are crazy that women will scream about and y'all will not care. Like, the precedents for all of your thoughts are already points of contention within people close to you. What are you talking about? Billions of people didn't sit inside their homes. I can poll 100 people as a sample size, and I bet that 90% of them know someone who either died from COVID or is hospitalized. I know both. You could not talk and appear smarter. Y'all know I have the weirdest world in which I can list more than 170 people who have passed away between the beginning of the pandemic to now, either through COVID or other means. The majority being COVID. If it was like 12 people, I could be like, well, damn, you know, changing of the guard, time happens, you know, shit moves forward or whatever. No! No, there was this weird spike when this virus kept going around. No! So you know I'm already on the sides of, I still don't understand why people think the vaccine has anything to do with state control. We have a legitimate problem. And I hate to make it personal for people, but it's like most of the people who don't know or have this opinion have somebody between me and them who have died from COVID because they thought the same thing. It's like, there's no way it didn't touch at least all of you in one way or another. I remember I had a friend of mine who was dead to rights, like, you know, Donald Trump's not that bad. This COVID thing is being overblown. They're doing this, this. Somebody passed away that was close to him from COVID. He started doing a little bit more looking, and he was like, yo, he literally said to everybody, I can't believe I was on that train. My bad. Cool, done, over, end of conversation. You can't have people agreeing with you, seeing the fault in the thought, and then stop agreeing with you, and then have people who still say the same shit. They legit came out and said they lied about the numbers of people dying. You could have died in a car accident and they would have put COVID on your death certificate. Okay. By logic, it'd have to be for money, right? So who's making all of this money that y'all keep claiming in the pharmaceutical company? Where's the next step in that? Money for what? The administrators? Isn't the system already so broken that nurses are on strike today? Especially since we were calling them frontline workers and banging our pots and I'm always gonna bring that shit up because y'all really had me on a trip when you was doing that. Like it did a bang 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 with the ding 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 with the clang 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 clang. Remember the clang 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 clang? 7 o'clock on the dot. Thank you for making things go forward. Our frontline doctors, our nurses, everybody is doing great. When they told you you had to wear garbage bag, when they had to wear garbage bags, you people said, "Oh, that's just a failure of their own. We can't fund that. Blah blah blah. That's just too bad. They're getting worked more, so they should be used to it." People saying, "I didn't sign up for this. It looks horrible. You didn't sign up for this when you were a nurse. What about the Hippocratic Oath? My HIPAA like." There is no legitimate reason for that to be a true statement that wouldn't also be supplied by evidence that it clearly didn't work for long because the opposite of what you would expect is happening. If this were true in any way, shape, or form, the next step of your thought wouldn't even follow with the main point you made. You cannot argue that. This is just dumb. That's it. It's just dumb. And the reason why I'm using this as an example is because I just had this conversation in real life. And it's like for somebody who's not online to get to that point, sure, you could find your way through the avenues if you wanted to. You could find your way through the avenues. Sure, do what you got to do. But at the same time, you got to be kidding me, man. You got to be kidding me. So I said this isn't true and was never true. Okay, doc. How you get ratioed in views, bro? So I looked at his profile. The first thing he retweeted. Too easy. Too easy. Too easy, because
come on, man, that's too easy.
Like, at least don't make the last thing you said a dumb. Like, come on, man. You're not gonna really have me here on this conversation, are you? Okay, LMAO. Do you not see what's happening to younger people with heart issues and blood clots? That was never the case before, but go off. Rise in heart disease may be explained by extreme weather conditions. Study. It's not clear why temperature shifts correlated with more heart attacks. It's a study. It's one study. The same way I don't swallow one study. But you're reposting from a page that's called End Wokeness. So like, do I really give a shit? If I present to you a legitimate source that says this isn't new, would you believe it? This person said, yes, I would. And then my man came in with the my man came in with the ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend, saving me. Homo So, huh? What? Anyway, homozygote saving me. There's this thread regarding the conspiracy component.
Really graphic images of clots that they supposedly pulled out of bodies. And according to them, this is all very new. This has never happened before. Except, that's a lie. So, blood can clot after you die. And there are ways that we as medical professionals can determine between antemortem clots, those are clots that form before death, and postmortem clots, those are clots that form after death. Now, I found this great summary slide on Twitter that goes through all the differences between antemortem and postmortem clots. Now, if you look at postmortem clots, just with the naked eye, they're gelatinous and they're rubbery. And if you listen to the embalmers on this documentary, that's exactly how they're describing these new strange clots that they're forming. One guy even says that they feel like calamari. The postmortem clots typically take the shape of the blood vessel they're in, and that's exactly how those embalmers describe these newfangled clots that they're finding. They're pulling out these perfect casts of blood vessels made out of these new clots. So this is what a common postmortem clot looks like. And this is what one of their strange new clots looks like. Notice any similarities here? Then there's this lady, so listen to her.
I believe the only way that a medical doctor could see this in the body is if they actually went internally into the body.
So this is coming out of a beating heart, all right? Look at this, tell me if it looks the same way.
So first of all, medical doctors don't need surgery to find out if you have a blood clot. There's plenty of other ways, ultrasounds, CAT scans, MRIs, that we can find out if you have a blood clot. And that video that she showed you was called a surgical embolectomy. It's a procedure we use to remove large blood clots from the lungs. And it looks awfully similar to this video that was published on YouTube well before the vaccines were available. So just to synopsize, blood clots can form post-mortem. They're nothing new. And the embalmers in this video are not medical doctors, not experts in blood clotting, not experts in vaccines, and they offer not a single shred of evidence to back up any one of their claims. So, hope this helps.
And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let it scroll on the screen for those who are watching on YouTube to pause if they would like to actually ingest this. I'm just telling you right now, there is a study that was found and done for it with all the details that you would like. With all the things that you want. All the notes, all the references, all the sources. If they wanted to see if these clots were vaccine-induced, there's literature which they could have referenced and compared their clots to. They didn't do any of that. Wonder why. Hi, Dr. Eric B. Not sure how this works in the States, but what the hell are embalmers doing, taking anything from a body and photographing, videoing it, and publicizing it? They aren't pathologists. Where's the consent oversight? And then some weird person said, SARS-CoV-2 has never been isolated. COVID never existed except in the death jabs they gave people. You will be remembered for this video when the truth comes out. Shill. So explain the large number of deaths in people under 50. Explain the large number of teens and young adults die from heart attacks and strokes. I personally know of half a dozen young adults die in the past few months that had zero health issues, but all took the vax. Funny, everyone I know is vaccinated plus boosted and is 100% healthy. We all have our antidotes, don't we? Look at the replies that he gets. This is what I mean. This is what I like. This is why I say out loud, I think maybe there's an astroturfed 4chan effort because Elon Musk isn't pulling the trigger on banning these people. Just because you have the MD letters after your name doesn't make you a specialist on this matter. Not until you finish your internship anyway. You virtue signaling talk is a telltale. And your pronouns. So my man Homozygo destroying the point, going way too deep, then pulls out the next one. There's this more in-depth piece for those that want to complete debunk. A clot too far. And this is obviously an embalmer dissects anti-vax misinformation about blood clots and died suddenly. Again, that film. Oh boy. Thank you. Sure, to put it bluntly, it was J&J AstraZeneca that had clot issues. Those vaccines have that risk fully communicated. RMNA has rates of blood clotting much lower than those two, and all vaccines have risk of clots much lower than the virus itself. I say all this to say, you cannot reasonably tell me that we are not still fighting a battle of misinformation. Because if I were to just point out that everything that probably happened in this discussion was through bots and trolls, you would be like, so then what's the point? What is the... They're playing you. They're playing... That's it. That's it. There's no other extra this, that, the other 59264837294. There's no pie. There's no secret circle. Occam's razor this one. People saw a chance to make money. They knew mad people was getting unemployment, and the majority of those people who they knew believed in what they were believing in knew that they were probably going to get that money and was like, well, they're not going to spend it on us because what are we going to talk about? We're not going to talk about leftist issues. All right, well, we got to come up with something that's against the left. Come on, their first target throughout the summer was Black Lives Matter. Why do you think they jumped from that to the trans issue? Think about it. Why? Because they don't play id poll. Why didn't you never hear anybody talk about anything other than diversity and how bad it is? What would be the end goal of that? All these little pieces of misinformation all build a network. That's why you feel so strong, and that's why I understand the shame you might have to endure having gone publicly and said something or agreed to this or agreed to that. The same way that person right here was saying that, and I made sure to let them know, yo, sometimes it's not our fault. I'm not always right about everything. But it's easy for me to admit I was wrong because I just know what it's like to be wrong. Shit, I shouldn't have went that far. All right, before I mention, you know what? That's not even true. My rule is before I mention something out of my mouth, let me do a little look into it. Let me at least make sure this idea touches the right avenues. I'm working through facts for a conclusion. Just try it. Doesn't make you a soy boy. Doesn't make you less masculine. Just be normal, dude.